Lamar Jackson has requested a trade, and could the Falcons be the #1 destination? Welcome into Falcons Today by Chat Sports. Matthew Peterson here, revisiting a topic that we haven't talked about in quite some time, but with Lamar Jackson announcing today that he requested a trade over 3 weeks ago, maybe the Falcons will reemerge as a potential destination. So let's break this down, starting in order with the Lamar Jackson tweet thread in which he requested a trade. Let's go through it. A letter to my fans. I want to first thank you all for all the love and support you consistently show towards me. All of you are amazing, and I appreciate y'all so much. I want you all to know not to believe everything you read about me. Let me personally answer your questions. In regards to my future plans, as of March 2nd, he got that franchise tag on March 7th, by the way. I requested a trade from the Ravens organization for which the Ravens has not been interested in meeting my value. Any and everyone that has met me or been around me know I love the game of football, and my dream is to help a team win the Super Bowl. You all are great, but I had to make a business decision that was best for my family and I. No matter how far I go or where my career takes me, I'll continue to be close to my fans of Baltimore Flock Nation and the entire state of Maryland. You'll see me again. Truz. Let's stay connected. Subscribe to my fan page. Sorry, just for a moment. Could you imagine being a Ravens fan, diehard Ravens fan? You're reading this, your star quarterback, your franchise quarterback, ends his farewell speech with a quick subread, please subscribe to my fan page. That's got to be tough to see right there. But what's next, okay? Lamar Jackson requested a trade. By the way, that tweet went out while Harbaugh was speaking to the media at the NFL annual meeting in Phoenix, Arizona, and they just bombarded him with questions, and we'll talk about that later on. But could the Falcons land him, right? We haven't talked about him really since March 7th, when Diana Rossini tweeted out the Atlanta Falcons will not be pursuing quarterback Lamar Jackson. This almost felt like a coordinated attack on Lamar because the Falcons, the Commanders, the Panthers, some other teams, the Raiders, all came out and said, we are not pursuing Lamar Jackson. And that was a bit bizarre because why wouldn't you be pursuing an MVP quarterback when if you're Washington, you have Sam Howell lined to start week 1. Or if you're Atlanta, you've got Desmond Ridder. Lamar is a clear upgrade over those guys. I don't think that's much of an argument. I've got 2 theories, and while I'm filming this, I've actually thought of a third. But the first one is collusion from the owners, right? The Cleveland Browns gave Deshaun Watson $230 million guaranteed. They don't want that to be a precedent, so they all just sort of banded together and said, all right, no one make an offer for Lamar. Ravens get to keep him, and no more quarterbacks get this idea of getting fully guaranteed contract. Theory number 2, and I don't really buy this one, but I've seen it tossed out. The Falcons didn't want to upset Desmond Ridder. Are you kidding me? This is a business. This is the professional football league here we're talking about. They are not going to miss out on getting a Pro Bowl, All-Pro, MVP quarterback because they don't want to upset Desmond Ridder or Sam Howell. Or in the case of the Raiders, Jarrett Stidham before they signed Jimmy Garoppolo. I don't buy that whatsoever. A third option that I just thought of is maybe the Ravens have sort of leaked to the other teams. Negotiating with Lamar has been hell, right? If you want to take a shot at it, good luck. But what he is asking for, and we've heard different rumors and reports of, at one point he got a 3-year, $130 million guaranteed contract. We've heard he doesn't want a fully guaranteed contract. It's really hard to really pin down what exactly he's looking for, but maybe teams just don't want to deal with the headache. And they're like, Lamar's great and all, but he has missed time the last 2 seasons. That can be another team's headache. We don't want to deal with trying to enter negotiations if the Ravens can't even figure out a way to keep number 8. Now, put your GM hat on here, B. Fontenot, and let me know. Should the Falcons pursue Lamar Jackson? Whether that's via trade, which we'll look at in a little bit, or making him an offer sheet, which the Ravens could match. Let me know Y for yes or N for no. You guys know where my stance is on Lamar Jackson. I think Lamar to Atlanta would be great for the Falcons. I understand it would cost a lot either in a contract or picks given up, but you know what? unless you believe you're going to get a player better than Lamar Jackson and the 2 first-round picks you'd have to give up in a non-exclusive or exclusive franchise tag placement, I think it's a no-brainer to go get Lamar Jackson, right? We're talking about an Atlanta Falcons franchise that has had a consistent franchise quarterback, more or less, since Michael Vick got drafted, with 2 outliers, right? One season between between Vick and Matt Ryan, and last year with Mariota. Ask the rest of the NFL. You do not want to enter quarterback hell of trying to find your new franchise QB. Now, Lamar, the last 4 seasons, he's never been one to light up the passing stats because he does so well on the ground. But I think the thing that does stick out over the last 2 years is that he's only played 12 of 17 games, and he has missed time down the stretch. Now, I think last year, personally, he missed some time because he knew he was entering an offseason in which he'd be a free agent, and he didn't want to risk further damage to his knee and maybe cost himself millions of dollars because teams now look at him as a bit of an injured product. But when the guy rushes the football too, don't discount that. 4,437 rushing yards in his career, an average of 6.1. If he was a running back, we're talking about like Pro Bowl, All-Pro numbers, 24 touchdowns. So Lamar is one of the best athletes on the field at any given time. I'm not here to debate with you guys that Lamar Jackson is a very good quarterback, to put it lightly. Now, subscribe for all things Falcons here at Falcons Today. We are trying to reach our next milestone, 11,000 subscribers. We're 260 away. If you'd like to get free Falcons content, make sure to hit that sub button. We're trying to get you guys daily content, and we need more subscribers to get more studio space, to get you guys more videos. So going back to Harbaugh, who was speaking to the media, which was not a coincidence, by the way, when Lamar Jackson put that tweet out or put that thread out, he was asked, does he anticipate Lamar Jackson being his QB in week 1? He says, I do. Okay, I've heard a lot of people say I do. Doesn't always end in a happy marriage. So I'm not really going to buy into Harbaugh being optimistic when he's not really the one sitting at the negotiation table. That's up to the owner and the GM to try and nail it down here. So here are the big questions I have. Will the Ravens match an offer sheet, right? Now that it sounds like, well, now that it looks like, more than just sounds like, Lamar wants out of Baltimore, would the Falcons or another team go, okay, since we believe that Lamar wants to leave Baltimore via his request via trade, should we make an offer knowing that there's a less likelihood that Baltimore matches it? Now, if they match it, you kind of go back to the collusion and upsetting Desmond Ridder, where you could do all this legwork for the Ravens, make an offer just for the Ravens to match it, and then Baltimore goes, all right, we got Lamar, donezo. Thank you, Atlanta, for negotiating a deal. We'll just match it and go that way. Or you go the trade route, right, where the Falcons could make a trade for Lamar, give up more than the 2 first-round picks that they would have to give up in an offer sheet via the franchise tag, and land Lamar Jackson guaranteed, but it would cost you more than just 2 first-round picks. I think at least 3 first-rounders, because that's what Deshaun Watson went for, and who knows, maybe another pick or 2 in addition to potentially like a player, okay? We'll get to more on that in just a second. But if the Falcons do not make a trade or a offer for Lamar Jackson, they will be picking top 10 most likely in the upcoming draft. And someone's going to be wearing this new NFL draft hat for 2023. I like them. I've heard some mixed opinions on the draft hats this year. I don't think it's all that bad. I think it's pretty cool. So if you agree with me, get a Falcons draft hat for 2023 using the link chatsports.com/ATL hat. I put that in the comments and the description of today's show. Now, a big concern that I have seen in the comment section from a lot of viewers is it's not about giving up picks for Lamar. It's about paying him this huge contract. We won't have anyone else to sign. I don't think that's true for a couple of reasons. One, look at the 2024 cap hit. So that's next year, okay? There's not a big, Grady Jarrett's making $20 million. That's not a huge cap hit to have as your number 1 player, okay? The Falcons currently are slated to have $82 million in cap space. That's top 10. So you're already top 10, and here's the beauty. The cap always goes up, okay? 10 years ago, we were at $130-ish million in cap space. In a couple of years, when a new TV deal is signed, we're going to go over $300 million. We're talking about adding $200 million in cap space in the span of 15 years or so. That is ridiculous. So as the cap continues to go up, as long as you don't mind Arthur Blank spending more of his money, don't worry about Lamar Jackson eating up a ton of cap space. Yeah, it would be a bummer because you can't go out and sign more players. But you know what? I don't think Chiefs fans or Bills fans are complaining about having Mahomes or Allen eat up a lot of cap space. Why? Because you want to have good players on your team. Good players cost money. Don't be the Cincinnati Reds of the NFL where you're constantly looking to barely get by and not give out big contracts and have plenty of money to spend. If you've got money to spend it on good players. And Lamar Jackson is a good player. I just don't see the argument of we don't want to give him all this money and have no one to sign. One, you're going to have players to sign because the Chiefs, the Bills, and all these other teams that give out huge contracts are still able to spend money in free agency. Look at the Broncos. They gave Russell Wilson $200+ million last year, and this year in free agency, they spent over $200 million. So I'm not buying this argument of you won't be able to sign anyone in free agency. That's just not true, okay? And two, if you've got the money to spend, you should spend it on good players. So that's my TED Talk. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Thank you for making us a part of your day. Enjoy the rest of your Monday. We will catch up later if we get more Lamar Jackson updates or just any new Falcons news and rumors.